Well, welcome everyone. It's time for us to begin the practice. We will certainly address the neck today, hips and shoulders, the usual suspects. But let's begin lying down on our backs this afternoon. If you have a bolster, place a bolster behind you. If you have a couple of pillows, stack them in a way that they represent the bolster. So as we often do, we start in a supported back bend, maybe a full body stretch. So extend your legs forward, extend your arms over the head, and take a few moments to really lengthen your body. Lengthening the arms and legs, letting the spine be long, letting the front of the body be very spacious. And find perhaps the deepest inhalation of the day. And as you exhale, release your arms to the floor by your sides. And if you haven't already, let your eyelids lower down. As your eyes close, begin to notice your breath. Noticing the movement that the breath creates in your body. Begin to feel the rise, the expansion of the belly and chest as you inhale. And that pleasant softening and relief of the exhalation. Paying attention to the breath as if your life depended on it, which of course it does. Paying attention to the breath, listening to the breath as if you're listening to your favorite song. Noticing the whisper of the breathing, even though it might be hard to hear, but continue listening anyways. Breathing in, feel your breathing in. Breathing out, feel your breathing out. During the practice this afternoon, I wanted us to revisit two qualities of mindfulness practice. They're often being referred to as two wings of a great bird. And the first one is curiosity. And the second quality is kindness. And I wanted to start today by reading to you from the book by Jon Kabat-Zinn. Mindfulness involves a rich emotional awareness and could equally be described as heartfulness or compassionate and kind awareness. Mind and heart are two doorways into the experience of awareness, and both are gradually transformed as your practice of mindfulness deepens. I like to describe mindfulness as becoming intimate with experience. If you are caring for a loved one or a child, it is not enough to pay attention in a cold and clinical way. With mindfulness, our relationship to our impulses and responses includes love, care, tenderness, and interest. That means deeply inhabiting the richness of the moment in an embodied and authentic way, which is especially important if you are experiencing discomfort. You can only look at life with honesty and integrity, and be open to its painful and pleasurable sides if you have a soft and open heart. It takes courage to face the demon of discomfort instead of frantically running away from it. So, today, the invitation of the practice is in those perhaps challenging moments when the sensations are strong, when the thoughts are loud, when the emotions are uneasy. How can we approach the experience with kindness? In which way can we offer ourselves compassion? So take a few moments right now, noticing your current state of being, noticing the body and the way it feels today, noticing the mind. If the mind is busy, let it be busy. If the mind is quiet, acknowledge that as well. Noticing the heart in its current state, allowing whatever is to be. And begin to notice how deeper inhalations echo in the front side of the body, belly, chest. And as you deepen your breath, start also noticing the back of the body. So be very generous with your inhalations and let them reach the lower back, the space between the shoulder blades, the back of the neck. So not only the front side of the body is touched by the inhalations, but also the back side. The exhalations are even slower, even more delicious. And start welcoming gentle movement to your fingers, to your toes. Guide your chin side to side, side to side. And start extending the arms over the head, allowing that full body stretch to lengthen the limbs, to lengthen the spine again. As you exhale, release your arms to the floor by your sides. Guide your chin to the right, to the left, to the right, to the left. And the next time your chin is moving through the center, interlace your fingers underneath your head, draw your elbows in towards one another, and begin to lift your head with your hands, guiding the chin towards the sternum just enough to feel lengthening on the back side of the neck. Move the chin side to side, side to side. Using the strength of the arms. The neck is participating, of course, but only in the sense that it connects the head to the rest of the body. For the most part, the neck is relaxed. Allow your teeth unclench. Allow your eyelids be heavy. Now, next time your chin is moving through the line of the sternum, pause. Begin to engage the front side of the neck, lower your hands down, and with the help of your arms, find your way to your tall spine. Let's cross the ankles. If it feels uncomfortable to have the ankles crossed, extend your legs forward and rest your hands on your knees or thighs. Let's continue with cat and cow pulsation. Exhale, round your spine, guide your chin in. And as you inhale, expand your chest, lean forward, hug your spine with the shoulder blades. Exhale, rounding the spine, leaning back. Inhale, expanding the chest, leaning forward. Please continue on your own for a couple of rounds of breath, articulating the spine in a way that allows your low back, mid back, and even neck participate in this pulsation. Noticing the touch of the hands on your knees, noticing the texture, the temperature of the surface underneath your hands. One of the next inhalation, find your neutral spine. And let's turn towards the long side of the mat. As you do so, guide your legs wide apart. And maybe even with the help of your hands, with the help of your arms, draw your legs away from one another. So even without an addition of a forward fold, you can feel the lengthening of the inner thighs. You can feel your inner hips. Now, if you have a bolster, place a bolster in front of you. If you have pillows, you might also benefit from having them in front of you. Begin to walk your hands forward on the bolster or those pillows. Maybe lower your forearms to that prop. Maybe rest your whole upper body, your belly and chest over the bolster or your pillows. You can let your toes turn in. Relax your feet. For some of us, the journey into this forward fold is a very short journey. It doesn't matter how close your upper body is to the floor. If you're feeling it, you are doing it. So if there is a pronounced sensation in your lower back, in your inner thighs, at the space between the shoulder blades, you are on the right path. Let's begin this hold with a little movement. Guide your chin side to side, side to side. Maybe sway your whole torso, left to right, right to left. And then come back to stillness, allowing the back of the body to round a little, allowing the head be heavy. If you have a block nearby, you can place the block underneath your forehead if the upper body is close enough to the floor. So we found this position, and we're going to stay here for a couple of minutes. So begin to familiarize yourself with the circumstances of this asana. Begin to discover the areas of your body where the sensations are pronounced, where the sensations are vivid. And start the following process of exploring those sensations. First, try to be as specific as possible in the way you describe the sensation. The first word that might come to mind is discomfort or tension. And try to be a little bit more specific in your description. What does this tension or discomfort actually feel like? For example, right now in my inner thighs, I notice that pulling. And there's a little pulsation going on at the area closer to the left knee. So maybe you use your own words to describe that sensation. Pressure, pulling, tingling, pulsation. So we're using our analytical mind to describe that physical experience. Notice if that area where you feel sensation, how big is the area? What is the shape of the area where you feel this particular sensation? What are the boundaries of discomfort? Now go to the boundaries beyond which there is no discomfort. And let the breath gently brush against those boundaries. And as you become more and more aware of the boundaries beyond which there is no discomfort, perhaps you start discovering how the sharpness of discomfort softens a bit. Now start noticing if, besides the physical sensations that you feel in your legs, in your lower back, there are some emotional responses, there are some feelings about this whole experience unfolding. Maybe there is some frustration about tension in the inner thighs. Maybe there is some fear about this experience never ending. Maybe there is some boredom. So now we discovered a second layer of discomfort. There is a physical experience, but there is also the way we react to it. Allow all of it be okay. And if there is a secondary discomfort, emotional discomfort, can you pause for a moment and whisper to yourself gently, it's okay. Whatever I feel is okay. Let me just be with it for a breath. Let's share a couple more breaths in silence, recognizing the physical sensations and the way we react to them. And if there is some unease, pause and be kind to yourself by saying, it's okay. It's okay to feel what I feel. Can I just pause with it for a moment? We'll find 3 more breaths here, letting the breath be even deeper, even slower than before. Follow that new depth of the inhalation from the very bottom of the belly to the very top of the chest. How slowly can you breathe out? So for the next 2 breaths, stay with the breath from the very beginning to the very end of a breath cycle. And then your next inhalation, very slowly, with the help of your arms, begin to find your tall seat, stacking the vertebrae one on top of the other one. Walk your hands behind your back, lean back into your palms, press your hands down, expand your chest, and maybe look to the ceiling as the chin lifts away from the sternum. Some of us keep the pelvis on the floor. Some of us point the toes, press the heels down, and slightly lift the pelvis, lift the sitting bones off the ground. You can bend your knees ever so slightly. Inhale. And as you exhale, lower your pelvis down if it was lifted. And let's set the bolster, let's set the cushion aside. With the help of your arms, guide your legs together. And let's shake the legs a little bit. So from inner thighs, let's see how the outer thighs, outer hips are doing. We'll turn towards the front side of the mat, crossing the ankles. And then shift your weight over to your left side. Guide your right leg out, around, and back. And for some of us, it will be a full extension of the right leg back. Some of us will bend the knee, allowing the knee face the side wall. If not, neither of those options feel okay for your knees, lie down on your back and cross your left ankle over your right thigh, hugging the right hamstrings or your right shin with your hands. If sitting upright is echoing kindly in your left knee, left outer hip, let's walk the hands further apart than a mat. So the hands are quite far apart. Let's just find a few shoulder dips. So lower your left shoulder down as you turn your gaze to the right. And then extend both arms, lift the chest. And as you exhale, lower your right shoulder down. Turn your gaze to the left. And continue for a couple more cycles, couple more breaths. And when you feel satisfied with this movement, slowly, slowly lower down onto your forearms. And either keep your head lifted or rest your forehead on your hands. So let's find a position of the upper body where we don't even need to think about the upper body. We can concentrate on the lower body, the left outer hip, the left thigh, the left knee. Begin to really land at the ground of this experience. Taking a picture, sort of a mental picture of the experience of this moment. Once again, discover the area in your body where the sensations are pronounced. And this time, without resisting those sensations, without denying your presence to those sensations, can you also feel the areas of the body where there is no discomfort? So yes, there are powerful sensations at the left outer hip, left outer thigh. There might even be some discomfort. But there are also areas in your body where the sensations are neutral and maybe even pleasant. While acknowledging those vivid sensations at the left outer hip, left outer thigh, also allow yourself to savor the pleasant experiences or the neutral ones. Perhaps the breath feels wonderful. The exhalations are so easy, so effortless. Now let your attention be even more spacious and all-inclusive. Let your attention include both experiences, pleasant and unpleasant ones. If there is any struggle, if there is any inner arguing going on, just pause with that experience. And however small way it might be, can you offer yourself kindness? In the circumstances like this, I like to think of the inner experience that is challenging as a child or a loved one who is in distress. I know I wouldn't argue with this person further. I know I wouldn't just shut them down if they were expressing something important to me. So in a similar way, can we pause with the experience that might be so tempting to resist, to run away from? Can we pause and listen? And as you feel the sensation, as you notice your emotional responses to it, you might be able to detect an immediate softening of that discomfort. So let's stay here for the next 5 breaths, lying down on your back or the belly is facing the ground. Staying with the breath, staying with sensations, staying with that anticipation to come out of the pose, to come out of the asana. That too is a valuable experience, a human experience. Whenever your 5th breath is fading away, now or in a few seconds, if you are lying down on your back, you can uncross your ankle, you can find a full body stretch. Otherwise, begin your journey onto your hands and maybe even onto your fingertips, lifting the chest, looking up. And then shift your weight over to your left side. Guide your right leg out, around, and forward, crossing the ankles. If you are lying down on your back, maybe you give your knees a hug and roll side to side. If you are sitting upright, maybe you find a couple of rounds of cat and cow pulsation. Maybe you just appreciate this moment of stillness, this effortless moment. And then let's all switch sides. If you're lying down on your back, cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Otherwise, shift your weight over to the right side and guide your left leg out, around, and back. And your left leg might be extended fully. Your left knee might be bent and facing the side wall. Walk your hands wide apart, definitely wider than a shoulder distance apart. And find a couple more of those shoulder dips. If you're lying down on your back, maybe you gently roll side to side, side to side. And then slowly, slowly lower down onto your forearms. Maybe rest your forehead on your hands. If you have a block or a pillow nearby, feel free to rest your forehead on that block or a pillow. So as we stay in this asana, and as we start experiencing the sensations and thoughts and feelings, I invite you to focus on the fact that everything changes. A couple of words from Jeff Foster for us as we stay here. In our lives, we seek some kind of permanence, something to hold on to, a person, a philosophy, a feeling, a state. But the fleeting nature of experience ensures that everything we grasp eventually slips through our fingers, including our attempts to stop grasping. But then we recognize that impermanence is actually a dear friend, and fragility gives life its beauty. And this seemingly ordinary day, with its walking, its washing, its breathing, its joys and its pains, is the dear friend we have always longed for. The beloved calls us home in any way she can. And this ordinary life is her ingenious invitation. So for the next couple of moments, choose an aspect of your experience to rest your mind on. It might be that sensation of pulling in your right outer hip. It might be the sound of your breath. It might be the feeling of boredom or anticipation. Inquire if that experience stays stagnant, unshakable, unchangeable, or is it constantly dancing and transforming? Perhaps being reminded of a fact that this very breath will never repeat itself. And maybe recognition of the change invites us to savor the moment, even if it's not perfect. Perhaps discovering a delight simply in your presence. How good it feels to just pay attention, to just be with what is. Let's find 5 more breaths on this side. One slow, intentional, silky smooth breath at a time. Whenever your 5th breath is fading away, if you are lying down on your back, release your legs, find a full body stretch. And if you are in pigeon pose, the belly is facing the floor, lift the chest, come up onto your hands or your fingertips. Look up as the chin moves away from the sternum. And then lean over to your right side, guide the left leg out, around and forward, cross your ankles. If you're lying down on your back, you can hug your knees to the chest, maybe roll side to side. If you're in an upright seat, find a couple of rounds of cat and cow pulsation. Or again, allow yourself to savor the moment of stillness and effortlessness. So if you are lying down on your back, please take your time rolling over onto your side and then finding your way onto hands and knees. Let's all find a tabletop position. Then as you find your tabletop, step your left toes back for a moment and just lean back and forth, moving from your left toes. Return your left knee down, step your right toes back and moving from your right foot, right ankle, lean back and forth, back and forth. Come back to your neutral position. Both knees are on the floor. Just see if your knees need a little more support, a little more cushion underneath them. And if that's the case, don't hesitate to find the blanket. Also, if you have a bolster or pillows nearby, have them nearby. So we'll step the left foot forward, letting it be quite a generous step. You can position your bolster or your pillows underneath your shoulders. Begin to lean forward with your torso, lean forward with your pelvis. Now, you might begin with a little bit of a movement of the pelvis side to side, side to side. Just noticing how this pulsation echoes in your right upper thigh, left outer hip. Maybe then you find a bit of a twist. Left hand presses into the left knee, right hand pushes into the floor. And as both hands are pressing down, you turn to the left side, maybe look to the ceiling from your left side. Find another breath here. And as you exhale, return your left hand to the floor or a bolster. So some of us stay on the hands, some of us lower down onto the forearms. Please be kind to your right knee if it needs a little more cushion. Roll your mat a few times underneath it or place a blanket underneath it. If that doesn't help to release tension or pressure from your knee, you can place that rolled up blanket underneath your shin. So your knee is actually elevated from the ground. So again, our main focus right now is on the hips. So create circumstances under which you don't even need to think about your right knee or your arms or your shoulders. And yes, in this lunging position, we are holding quite a bit of weight on the arms. So some effort might certainly be necessary. From time to time, you're more than welcome to move the pelvis, the hips, side to side, side to side. But if you notice that the movement becomes fidgeting, pause with that very impulse to move before the movement is actually being created. So this is the moment, that moment just before we act is a magical moment where we can really offer ourselves some support, kindness, and compassion. And that little pause between stimulus and response can be a moment, well, where transformation and alchemy happens. That moment of pause can really determine our future actions. So feel the sensations. Right upper thigh, left outer hip. Feel that burning desire to come out of the pose. Stay with it. And very gently whisper to yourself in your mind, it's okay. Whatever it is, let me feel it. Let me feel it. Listening to those reactions, to those feelings in a way you would be attending to a loved one who is expressing something important. Noticing, meanwhile, how the experience changes, how it transforms. Let's find 3 more breaths here, one slow breath at a time. Just this breath. Just this breath. Even though it might have felt like we were going to stay there forever, we are not going to stay here forever. Let's slowly come back onto the hands if you're not there already. Send your hips back, extend your left leg to the degree that your hamstrings agree with. And then switch sides, step your left foot back. Actually, before we switch sides, let's find a moment in child's pose. Guiding the hips down to the heels, moving the hips side to side, extending the arms forward, letting the forehead rest on your mat. Maybe celebrating the end of this long held lunging position with a deep breath in through the nose and a delicious sigh of relief. And let's come back onto the hands and knees. Maybe Move the bolster closer to the left side. Take a big, generous step forward with your right foot, making sure that your left knee is supported. There's enough cushion underneath it. Have your bolster or set of pillows underneath your hands if necessary. Let's move the hips side to side, side to side. And then find the angle of the pelvis where you can certainly feel the sensations in your left upper thigh, right outer hip, but they're not severe, they're not overwhelming. Bring your right hand to your right knee, press down through both hands, twist and turn over to the right side, maybe even look to the ceiling from your right side. Find another deep inhalation. And as you exhale, return your right hand down. Maybe stay on your hands, maybe lower down onto your forearms. As always in this position, choose wisely. It's a longer hold, it's a 3-minute hold, which is a long time to be in one position. So being here for your breath as it rises and falls. Being there for your breath as it slows, as it deepens. Being there. Being a loving witness to this extraordinary power that moves through you. Being there for all your feelings, not just the pleasant ones. The whole kaleidoscope of experiences. Being there for ease, being there for frustration. Being there for the emptiness and the fullness. Being there for all your thoughts, the ones you love and the ones you dislike, the ones that scare you and the ones you seek. Being there as the thoughts arise and dissolve, staying there as they stay and go. Being there for all of the sensations, for all of yourself. Like a mother there for her child. Slowing down inside. Being there for yourself, just for this breath. Just for this breath. We have 5 more slow, intentional, velvety smooth breaths to share. And if a break is necessary from these strong sensations, you can certainly move your hips back a little or move your hips side to side. This breath, this breath. Continue gently bringing yourself back. It's okay, whatever it is. Let me feel it. All right, whenever your 5th breath is fading away, come back onto your hands. If you're not there already, and slowly, slowly draw the pelvis back. Extend your right leg to the degree that the hamstrings agree with. And then step your right foot back and, if possible, sit down on your heels. If that doesn't feel great, find your way to a cross-legged seat. Rest your hands on your thighs or your knees and lower your chin down towards your sternum. And begin to move your chin side to side, half circles with the chin. And then next time when your chin is moving towards your left shoulder, begin to guide your left ear towards your left shoulder. Extend your right arm out to the side. And this might be plenty of sensations for you on the right side of the neck. If you would like the stretch be a little more pronounced, place your left hand over your right ear and let the pressure of the hand invite your head move down towards your left shoulder. You're not applying any pressure intentionally, it's just the weight of the hand that is pressing down on your head. Start noticing how the change in the depth of the breath changes the volume of sensations on the right side of the neck. So the deeper you breathe in, you might notice the more pronounced the sensations are. Continue reaching out and down through your right fingertips, allowing the presence, the imprint of the day to melt away from your face, allowing your facial muscles soften and relax as the teeth unclench. Maybe close your eyes. Maybe move your lower jaw a little up and down, side to side, back and forth. 3 more breaths here. And as you exhale your third time, without changing the position of the head, bring your left fingers to your left cheek. And with the help of your hand, only lift your head. Guide your chin to your sternum and move your chin side to side, side to side. And if you're sitting on your heels and you need a little break, you can come back onto your hands and knees and maybe tap your feet on your mat. Then return to your seat. And let's guide the head towards the right shoulder as you extend your left arm out to the side. Right palm can stay on your thigh or your knee, or place your right hand over your left shoulder, or a left ear rather, and allow the weight of the right hand gently press down onto your head, not applying any amount of substantial pressure. Just the natural weight of the hand is guiding the head down. Continue reaching out and down through your left fingertips. Gentle exploratory movement might feel good. You can guide your chin up and down, side to side. Letting the teeth unclench, letting the gaze relax. Deepening the breath, slowing it down. Time and time again, returning to awareness of this moment. What are you actually seeing right now? What are the sounds that touch your ears? How does the breath echo on the left side of the neck? Does it echo any differently if you deepen your inhalations, if you slow the exhalations down? Let's share 4 more breaths here. Always returning to this breath as if this breath was that destination that you have been trying to get to for so long. Great. Without changing the position of the torso of the head, bring your right fingers to your right cheek, and with the help of your hand, lift your head. Bring your hands to your knees or thighs, guide your chin to the sternum, and find a couple more of those half circles of the chin of the head. From neck to shoulders. Find your way onto your hands and knees. We will move onto the belly. And as you find your way onto your belly, bring your hands one on top of the other. Rest your forehead on your hands. Guide your hips side to side, side to side. And if you have been sitting on your heels for all this time, you might benefit from bending your knees and windshield wipering your shins. Approaching the shoulders next. Return your feet to the floor. Extend your legs. And now extend your left arm out to the side. Let's bend the left elbow 90 degrees. So now your forearm is perpendicular to your upper arm. Bend your knees and walk them slightly to the right side. Move your pelvis slightly to the right. Now press your right hand down. Begin to roll over onto your left hand side. And if you immediately feel some sharpness of sensations in your left shoulder, left elbow, that might indicate that you need to extend your left arm out to the side. So instead of having your elbow bent, you extend your arm. Lower your head down to the floor or a pillow, and either keep your thighs stacked or lift your right knee, flex your right foot, and press your right foot back. The foot might find the floor, the foot might still be lifted. Right hand can stay on the ground in front of the belly, or wrap your right arm around your lower back. And if you would like to find extension in your right arm as well as the left arm, maybe, just maybe, you search for your right foot or ankle with your right hand as you press your right foot back. This will be a less relaxing option. So make sure it's appropriate for how you feel today and what you currently need. So we'll stay here in this very expansive asana for the front side of the body for about a minute and a half. Noticing how the more you press your right foot back, the more voluminous sensations you feel in the chest, on the left armpit, left upper arm. Giving yourself permission to slow down. Giving yourself permission to arrive. Here I am, breathing in, breathing out. Taking a closer look to your circumstances. Maybe as you slow down inside, you can even feel your heartbeat. In this particular asana, the breath can certainly contribute to the sensations and how we feel them. So deepen your inhalations. Let's stay here for 5 more breaths. Whenever your fifth breath is fading away now or in a few moments, if you're holding onto your right foot, let it go and begin slow transition onto your belly. You might not want to move your left arm right away. You might need to start with just a little wiggling of the fingers, opening and closing of the left palm. But then slide your hands underneath your shoulders and circle your shoulders a few times backward, one shoulder at a time, and then a couple of times forward, one shoulder at a time. And we'll switch sides in our shoulder stretch. So extend your right arm out to the side. And then bend your right elbow about 90 degrees. Bend your knees, walk your knees slightly to the left. Pelvis moves to the left as well. And begin to roll over onto your right hand side. If you immediately discover some sharpness in your right shoulder, right elbow, extend your left arm out, right arm out to the side, as opposed to keeping the elbow bent. Release your head to the ground. Either keep your thighs stacked or lift your left knee and press your left foot back. Maybe the foot is hovering above the ground. Maybe the toes connect to the floor. And we are here for about a minute and a half, experimenting with the position of the left arm, maybe wrapping the arm around your lower back, maybe searching for your left foot or ankle with the left hand. Noticing the thought that occupies your mind. Noticing that you are aware of that thought. Noticing the sensations in your right armpit, right shoulder, right side of the chest. Noticing that you are aware of these sensations. Experiencing more and more of your attention, your own mind. Deepening the breath, noticing how the new depth of the breath echoes in your body. Maybe even holding the breath for a few seconds at the top of the inhalation. Sharing 3 more slow, intentional, velvety smooth breaths. And whenever your third breath is up, if you're holding onto your foot or ankle with your hand, let the foot go. Return your left hand on the floor near your face, near your head. Press your left hand down, lift the chest. Very slowly extend your right arm perpendicular to your spine and roll over onto your back. And as you find your way onto your back, give your knees a hug and gently roll side to side, side to side. Come back to your neutral spine, guide your brows to your knees, and maybe give your shins a hug with your forearms. Maybe hug your elbows with your hands. Draw your thighs even closer to your belly for even more authentic hug. And then let your legs go. Look around, see where your bolster, see where your pillow is. Maybe roll a blanket up and place it underneath the knees. And if that doesn't feel all that great, or it's not necessary to have a bolster, underneath the knees. You can just extend your legs on the floor. Some of us will extend the legs forward. Some of us will connect the soles of the feet and guide the knees wide apart. Let's extend the arms over the head. Deep inhalation, maybe a yawn. As you exhale, release your arms to the floor by your sides. Take a moment here to inquire if you can be 5 or 10% more comfortable in the position that you have chosen for your arms and legs. You're getting closer to Shavasana, so make sure you feel warm, you feel supported, the body feels at ease. So if you need to wiggle a little bit before you find stillness, you're more than welcome to do so. Eventually, let your eyelids lower down. And as your eyes close, can you feel the imprint? An imprint that the practice has left in your body. We started our practice with a supported back bend. Then we moved into a wide-legged forward fold to address the low back, the inner thighs. Then we explored pigeon pose, or for some of us, figure 4 position. And then who can forget low dragon pose, that lunging position for the hip flexors. We approached the neck for a few moments. And we closed the practice with a shoulder-oriented asana. And now we are back to the stillness of Shavasana. So allow yourself to savor the aftertaste of all of the previous practices that we did today. Receiving the wonderful benefits of the practice. Letting your attention include all that there is to include. Thoughts, sensations, feelings, sounds, smells. Feeling fully alive, so present. The body is being held, the body is being breathed as we rest. Follow your breath back to your body. And if you would like to stay in Shavasana for a longer time, you are more than welcome to stop this video and stay on your back for as long as you would like to. Otherwise, let your breath grow deeper. And as the breath deepens, welcome gentle movement, little wiggling to your fingers, to your toes. Guide your chin side to side, side to side. Maybe you find a full body stretch and a deep yawn. As you exhale, release your arms to the floor by your sides. Bend your knees, give your knees another hug perhaps, or just keep your feet on the floor for a few more moments. Whenever the time is right for you, let go of your legs and find your way onto your side. Roll over onto the side, pause there for a few breaths. Considering this position a continuation of your Shavasana, so very little to no effort is required. And as you feel confident that you are awake, begin your journey to your upright seat. Take your time getting up. And as you find your way to your tall spine, connect your hands at the heart center. Take another moment with your eyes closed here to feel the connection of your hands, to feel your presence. Find a deep breath in, release. Thank you all for practicing together, for breathing together. Be well. Namaste.